Hello and welcome to our series on entrepreneurship in the hospitality sector. In today's episode, we're focusing on how we can reinvent the business model of a small dine-in restaurant. My name is Amit Arora, and to share their thoughts, I'm joined on the program by four young entrepreneurs. Please welcome Prakshi Heda, Ayush Singh, Aman Shah, and Archit Jain. Welcome, everyone. Prakshi, let me begin by asking you, can you help define for our viewers what is a small dine-in restaurant?
Thank you for the question. I would like to say that dine-in restaurants are basically a concept of a cafe or a sideway bistro. Like it requires less capital, it has less seating area, and it caters to fast walk-in customers. So a person can keep coming and going, and it requires less capital, and it creates an instant ambience and coziness in the restaurant, which a lot of large restaurants are not able to cater to.
Okay. Aman, would you say that for a small dining restaurant, there is a certain number of chairs, tables, space, area?
So I think so, like there is no specific area or specific numbers, but you can recognize it that by looking at it that it is a small restaurant because it is small in size and the number are also very less, the number of chairs and tables.
And Aman, would you say that there is a difference between small dining restaurant and cloud kitchen? Because we hear so much about cloud kitchen these days.
Yes, absolutely. Because at the small dining restaurant, you are providing the dining service as well. But at cloud kitchen, you aren't providing the dining services. You are just delivering food online through third-party platforms. So that is the major difference between both of them.
Okay. Archit, can we also have a hybrid business model where we have a kitchen and we can have cloud kitchen? Plus, if somebody wants to come and dine, we also have dine-in restaurant.
Yes, definitely. Most restaurants actually operate this way where they will also do a delivery model or they may have a separate brand under the same kitchen where they operate a cloud kitchen and they have a dining space as well where they serve food to customers.
Okay. So are you saying, given the fact that we have small dining restaurant and a lot of people who like to go out and eat, how do you see the COVID impact? Why is it necessary to reinvent the business model of a small dining restaurant?
Right. Thank you for your question, sir. So first of all, I think the restaurant industry really badly hit by COVID. We have lost about 8 to 9 million jobs in India today. And the need to reinvent is because, customers really very fearful of coming to restaurants and eating. So owners may need to rethink about the restaurant design, the number of seats they have, the menu, will it be online or will it be, the proper menu. So I feel that, with the big restaurant, you have a lot of cost and people need to rightly open smaller restaurants these days, or even they can go for a cloud kitchen. So that is what I feel.
Okay. And Aman, we also see these mobile van outlets. Would that fall in small dine-in? Is that also a viable option?
No, sir. The small vans wouldn't fall in the small dining restaurant. But yes, it can be a very viable option if someone wants to start, and it could be a good option for them.
Okay, because Prakshi, if you see this photograph, usually we do see that in mobile van outlet, there are a couple of chairs there as well. But notwithstanding, it's not small dining restaurant. It's a different category.
Yes, sir. It's kind of a pop-up where people can just come, take their food, and eat on the benches nearby, or they can take it in the car and leave. So it becomes viable for people who cannot afford a place or rent out a place and start. A food truck kind of a business or a mobile van gets very easy to handle and operate, and people can even see what is getting cooked in the front of them. So when you see your food getting cooked in front of you, you get that experience and you feel satisfaction while eating it. Whereas you always have a doubt that how the quality of food will be or how are they making the food.
I think that's a good point Prakshi makes, Archit, that it's human behavior that maybe with Cloud Kitchen, at the click of the button, you can get the food. But there can be many people who would also like to see how the food is being cooked and the quality of the same?
Yes, sir. There is always a question in the customer's mind that how their food is prepared or what conditions their food is prepared in. And I feel like no matter whatever a company or a restaurant may try to do, if they put out photographs, if they put out videos, nothing really beats the real thing of actually seeing your food being prepared.
Okay. So Ayush, that means we can say that while cloud kitchen may be becoming very popular, small dining restaurant business is still here to stay.
That's right. So I feel with the cloud kitchen, people are ordering more from home due to work from home increasing. But the actual experience of eating in a restaurant, probably sitting there with your friends or family, will never go. And that is why I feel there's a need to reinvent your business model and go for smaller restaurants, smaller seats. But I feel before opening any business, you should do your thorough market research and market surveys, because you should find that is there really need to open the business in that market or not. Simply, if you just go and open a restaurant in a market and it fails, then you're going to lose a lot of money. So I feel you should do your market research and market survey properly. Only then you should know your customer and then probably opening up your business.
Absolutely. And if you as a food lover wanted to eat pizza, pasta, burger, and much more, Aman Shah did offer to your likings. Aman, you've been an entrepreneur yourself. In 2018, you opened a small dining restaurant in Borivali, Mumbai. Share your experience with us, please.
Okay, sir. So yeah, I started a small dining restaurant in Mumbai in 2018, and we used to serve foods like pizzas, pastas, burgers, and steaks. And we used to provide dining services with 4 tables, and we also used to order food online through third-party delivery platforms. And initially, the experience was quite challenging for me because I had no prior experience of working in a restaurant or in a kitchen. But I had made up my mind that I want to do it, and I did it. And after some days, I got the right um, track. Like the restaurant started getting orders online, as well as we made a very good customer base within. So it was quite a good experience for me, and from this experience, I can say that it made me more capable of running even a bigger operation in the future. So it was a very good, like, yes.
So when you did start the venture in 2018, what was your biggest challenge?
So the biggest challenge was that I didn't have any knowledge or any experience about the kitchen or the restaurant business, or how should I start, how should I lay out the kitchen. But as I was young and I had the support, like the family support, so I just thought that I have to do it anyhow, and I did it. I just contacted my friends and I asked for a lot of help as well from many people. And that time I even realized if we ask for help, a lot of people even help. And I made some mistakes as well, like setting up the kitchen. Like I made a kitchen a little bit smaller because I wasn't able to estimate the amount of order which I might get in the future. So, but as mistakes, like a person learns from his mistake, I also learned from that mistake. And in the future, if I do it again, I'll see to it that I keep my kitchen a bit bigger in size and lay it out in a proper way.
Excellent. I think a round of applause for entrepreneurs like Aman. It says so healing to hear the words that I just did it. I made mistakes and I'm growing. I think that is what entrepreneurship is all about. And in our series, Entrepreneurship in Hospitality Sector, this is what we focus on. Archit, those are the traits of an entrepreneur. There may be uncertainty. You may not necessarily know the complete picture, yet there is a vision, a passion to move one step at a time.
Yes, I believe that is one thing that a person who wants to open a business, who wants to start their own business, should have in mind is that yes, there will be mistakes I make along the way. Yes, there will be risks involved with this, but it is just something that I have to do. And that feeling, that sort of a drive only comes if you're passionate about what you want to do.
Right. So, Prakshi, since one of the challenges that Aman mentions is about the layout of a small dining restaurant, as a hospitality professional, help our viewers understand. If we have about 4 to 5 tables, say a 20-seater restaurant, how would you define the best area in terms of the kitchen space and the furniture?
To open or set up a 20-seater restaurant, one person, individual person requires around approximately 30 square feet area. So accordingly, 20 people will require around 600 square feet area. And the kitchen should always be 75% of the restaurant's area. So that would come around 450 square feet area. So total area required would be 600 plus 450, that would be 1050 square feet area. So it becomes easier for the owner to manage because then the kitchen becomes easier to operate and there's less wastage of food and chefs can work properly because it's a larger kitchen. And when there's a small kitchen, only one person can work efficiently. When there are two people, it becomes very messy to work with a small kitchen.
So Ayush, is it important for an entrepreneur to get in touch with a hospitality professional like yourself to understand the nuances of the layout, the kitchen design, the storage space? But if somebody does not seek that help upfront, how can we ensure that everything falls in place? Because these are important things.
Right. That's why I feel, a first-time restaurateur is a person who has a lot of capital and a lot of passion. So a person like for example, Aman, he did not have any help, and he went and opened a restaurant. There was no one to guide him. What's the space of the kitchen, the space of the restaurant? But I feel people like us, we can help them. We can help them design the menu, design the restaurant, design the kitchen space, do the marketing. And once you have someone at your side, I think that is a added benefit, and it gives them the time to actually work in the restaurant, uh, do what's needed to be done, and leave the rest on the other people.
Aman, how did you design the kitchen and the storage space? And is it important in terms of staffing to have a chef at the outset? How do you have, select the human resources?
Yes, sir. So in the beginning, what I did was I just made I segregated the area that this would be the kitchen and this would be the dining space. And without hiring the chef, and what I did was that was one of my mistake was I just ordered all the kitchen equipments, like all the stoves, deep freezers, deep fryers, and etc. And later on, because I was finding it difficult to find a proper guy, like a proper chef or someone, so it took me some time. But as soon as I found one, so he told me, sir, that you made this mistake. You shouldn't have bought a double. You should have bought a single deep fryer. And you should have bought a griller instead of it. So those were some of the mistakes, and hence guidance is very important. If I would have found the chef in the starting itself, he would have guided me in the proper way that you have to do it in this way. But yes, I made like 75% of the things were right which I brought, but 25% of the things were not proper, but which I realized it later on, but we worked out anyways.
Okay. So Prakshi, look at this picture. Is this the right way to organize kitchen?
So it is actually not the right way to organize a kitchen. A person even going inside to cook something here will get so jumbled up while thinking what to cook and where things are, whatever things he need to cook, whatever things he need. So a systematic kitchen is the basic thing requirement a person needs to start a restaurant, because if a chef enters this kitchen, I don't think he'll get the value what he's going cooking for. The taste will not come eventually, and it will lead to a lot of wastage of food itself. So if it is systematically planned, and if two people are also working in the same kitchen, it becomes easier. There's less wastage of food. Whatever resources he required, because he can see it properly, and he does not have to mix up, or he does not have to keep looking for things, because the picture you showed earlier was so messed up that I myself wouldn't remember where did I keep the salt or the basic ingredients.
Absolutely. And therefore, if we talk about the organization, if this is not the right way to organize, it leads us to the next picture, which is how do we manage our storage space? Archit, could you guide us? We have a lot of ingredients in a restaurant. What's the best way to manage your storage space?
So the best way to manage a storage space is really to have everything be in one place, and everything, like you can see in this picture, all of the sauces are labeled, all of the different ingredients are kept in their particular places. Like you can see, the tomatoes are kept in one stack, and uh, other fruits and vegetables are kept separately, and the packaged ingredients or the sauces and stuff are kept separately. So to ensure this happens, you actually need someone that knows what ingredients there are, where they're used, and how quickly, and what is the sort of time frame in which they have to be used and then thrown away. Because that is one thing that I think a lot of restaurants really struggle with, is to throw out ingredients on time that are not fresh, and then they end up having problems.
Absolutely. Aman, also share more about the owner's role. If you are an entrepreneur who starts a small dining restaurant, the role of the owner is not just limited to bringing in capital. Even in day-to-day activities, how would you define owner's role to be effective?
So yes, absolutely. I feel like the owner's role is just not to put money. It's also very important to put input as well, because I have witnessed it myself that whenever I wasn't there, a lot of time customer used to feel happy whenever like the owner is coming and taking the initiative, asking for any complaints. So it creates a very big impact. Customer feels like there is a value which is being provided to them, because if a person who has been hired, he goes there, they'll feel like it's a normal. But if you want to be different, like, so that is why it is very important for an owner to put his input and be present over there most of the time.
And in terms of the licenses for the Tiny
Yes, sir.
Texas venture, was it a
Yes,
difficult
sir.
affair? What all licenses did you obtain?
Yes, sir. If we talk about the procedure, it is actually very easy. But as in India, easier process, people make it difficult. So I just went to the BMC office, and we had to actually get three licenses. The first was the shop establishment, or I was only having 5 people, so I could even work on the Udyog Aadhar as well. Didn't require the Gumasta. And then the other license was the FSSAI health license, which comes with a fire NOC. So fire license is not a different license, it's just a NOC which the fire department gives, and then only the health department will issue you with the license. So these are the three requirements which you need to have.
Okay. So even as we conclude, Prakshi, for those who are wanting to start small dine-in restaurant now, post-pandemic, would you advise them to go for it?
Yes, sir, I would really advise them to go for it. This is the right time to actually start a venture like this, because all of us are so sick and tired of sitting at home. We just want to go out and experience that we haven't been doing past 2 years at least. So starting right now and getting it in working stage by at least 3 or 4 months also, it becomes a very good point to start, because everyone would rush out to eat out. And if you're providing with good food and proper sanitation, why would a person not come to eat out? So I think it is the best time to start. I myself want to start one.
So Ayush, in terms of gestation period, if somebody starts a small dine-in restaurant, will it take them a year, 2 year to break even? When can the owner expect the business to be profitable?
So I feel first of all, a restaurant business is very capital intensive, and to really break even, I think a restaurant needs 6 months to 1 year to really break even. But if someone is really fearful that opening a restaurant is very tough for them, they can try out the menu in form of a cloud kitchen. Probably that can help them test the market, test the actual menu, and get feedback from their customers, in the sense that is their food working or not in that market, and then they can really decide that if that should be converted into a restaurant or not.
Okay, Archit, your final words on advising those who would like to start the small dining restaurant, or even if somebody had a bigger restaurant and you feel because of legacy issue, they can reinvent the business model now.
First thing I would tell them to do is, if they want to start their own restaurant, is to hire a professional to look at your smaller details. Hire someone who knows what they're doing. If you don't have the experience, then I would highly recommend hiring someone who actually does have an experience in opening a restaurant, or at least knowledge about opening a restaurant. Because one of the key mistakes I think as we've learned from Aman as well, is not having any idea about how big a space should be, or how many people you should need, or what sort of equipment you should need.
Okay.
If you get that, all of those details planned out, then
Yes.
that is definitely a first step towards.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good point that, like Aman also said, that seeking out help from the hospitality professionals is also very essential. Aman, final words. Quickly recap for us, for somebody who wants to reinvent the business model of a small dining restaurant. What are the top 3-4 things they should do?
So I feel like the first and the most important thing they should focus on their product, because product is the base of their restaurant. People would come to the restaurant. Service would also be a part, but the main thing would be the product. And then they should focus on doing some kind of digital marketing, which could include social media marketing. And also they should focus, like if a owner is there, he should focus on giving his inputs as well in the business. And if a if a person wants to sustain his business, and if he's getting orders, he should also focus on the costing of his product as well, because just doing business, selling, it's not important. You have to sustain as well. So you have to see to it how much margin are you getting, how much. So costing is the key for restaurant business in a longer term, if you want to sustain it in a longer term. So these are some of the few important things you should keep in mind.
Okay, that's a very great, inputs. Those great inputs will surely help young entrepreneurs reinvent their business model. Let's conclude with some hospitality humor. I found this written in a small dining restaurant. We do not have Wi-Fi. Talk to each other and pretend it's 1995. Aman Shah, will you ever have something like this written so that when people come to a small dining restaurant, they enjoy the quality product and services you mentioned, and they talk to each other? Will you put this headline?
Yes, sir, maybe. Like, it's a good way to get people interacting with each other. So I might do it, sir.
Okay, Prakshi?
Yes, sir, I would do it too.
Okay, Archit Jain?
It's a nice witty comment, and I think it adds to the ambience.
Okay, Ayush?
I think I would add it too, because people are always on their phones these days, and it's good to have a break on the without your cell phone or smartphone, and really talk to each other, connect with each other. I think yes.
Absolutely. Well, on one hand, you've got technology and cloud kitchen and everything that you can order food at the click of the button. At the same time, what an irony. We want people to come to the dine-in restaurant, because nothing like visiting a restaurant, seeing the food being cooked, as Prakshi said, and enjoying the services there without the Wi-Fi as well. Such is life.
Right.
But today on the program, to help us understand how we can reinvent the business model of a small dine-in restaurant, and Aman Shah for sharing your own personal journey of your venture, Tiny Texas. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.